I am Gregory Hallows, and this is Preserve Halloween Podcast. So, it is that awful time of the year. We're about a little over a week past Halloween. I'm sure all of us are, in our feelings about Halloween being over for a year. But here's the good thing. We can start planning now for next year. Most of us spend our whole year celebrating Halloween, so it's not that big of a deal. The saddest part is this year it seemed like Halloween decorations and Halloween things for sale went away a lot faster than they normally do, which was weird because they get put away fast anyway, but it just seems like people are decorating for Christmas a lot earlier this year. I don't know what the deal is with that. It always seems too early for me. I think the day after Halloween, November 1st, which is, the Day of the Dead. So, let Halloween simmer for a little while. Day of the Dead's the very next day, but I think the following Monday, they were already playing Christmas songs on the radio, at least where I am, which is insane. So I could go on and on about that complaint and how, it seems like Halloween keeps getting pushed further and further back. But I don't want to think negatively this whole podcast. So I'm going to share a wonderful story that happened to me on Halloween. And kind of a sad story, but, not so much. Not as bad. But on Halloween this year, I made the decision to plan an event, which I really wish I would have been able to enjoy the Halloween night at home. But I made the decision to do an event because I thought it'd be cool and it'd be fun, and I got to decorate. And I got to bring all my Halloween decorations with me to an event, which I hadn't done in a while. So that was very fun. I really did miss taking my kids trick-or-treating, and they let me know that they were not happy about me being out of town for Halloween, which understandably so. But all of that aside, I will apologize forever to my children for missing Halloween, because it was the first time I'd ever not been at home on Halloween. So it was kind of a big deal. But I did get to show a movie to my friends on Halloween night that I absolutely love. And none of them had seen it, surprisingly, because I always think everyone has seen, all the stuff I've seen. But I, watch a lot of movies, listen to a lot of music. So luckily, because the best part is showing a movie to some people that have never seen it and have no idea what it's going to be about, because I didn't tell them. I just said, after the show, I'm going to show you guys a movie. So, let's go get some food. Let's come back. Let's hang out. There was already a room set up at the show for showing movies. So all we had to do is go get some food and kind of just hang out together, which is always fun because we don't always get to do that. So somebody went and grabbed me some food. Some other people went and changed and, brought back snacks and things. So I warned them before the movie started. I said, this is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's great, but it's not a good movie, if you understand what I'm saying. So I tried to explain to them what the movie was about without giving away any of the plot too much, but it really didn't matter. So I told him it's about this kid, and he worships this game, and it's about, you go around punching and killing people for the devil, and this kid's obsessed with it. His dad gave it to him. He plays it all the time. And, there ends up being this guy he meets who he thinks is the real devil. And so he's obsessed even more because he thinks it's the devil from the game. I think it's a brilliant play on, people's obsession with technology and how sadly a lot of kids believe everything they see on television and how and video games and how easily influenced kids of a certain age are. It's kind of a warning to make sure you pay attention to what your kids are watching or consuming, because it definitely has an effect on them. But of course, at the end of the day, it's just a B horror movie, dark comedy, satire, slasher, whatever you want to call it. This movie was made in 2004, so it's a little over 20 years ago, called Satan's Little Helper. I love it because it's just funny, but it's also set around Halloween time, so you get costumes and all the fun decorations and things like that. So this movie was directed by a guy named Jeff Lieberman, who also did he wrote the movie Squirm, if you remember that, from the mid-70s, about I can't remember exactly. It's like power lines hit the ground at some place and it makes a bunch of man-eating worms come out of the ground. I think that was basically the plot. He also wrote a movie called Remote Control from the late 80s. He created... actually, he wrote the screenplay for Neverending Story 3. And he did a movie called Blade way back in the 70s, but not the Vampire Blade. Anyway, Jeff Lieberman was the writer for Satan's Little Helper, and I love it. I absolutely love this movie. He also directed it, and the cast is pretty good for, this type of movie. The main kid, I describe him as just super annoying, like Franklin from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. His name is Alexander Brickle. He also was in Palindromes, if you've seen that. And I think that's it. Like, I think that's the only two items on his resume, and those both came out the same year. So I don't know what Alexander Brickle's doing nowadays. I'd love to find out, because he is awesome in this. He does an amazing job, and for a kid actor, you can easily hate them really fast, but I just think he's great. The biggest actor in this film ends up being Catherine Winnick. She plays his sister, and this is one of, I believe, her very first roles, way back in 2004. I think she's had a couple things before that. But this was one of the first things I saw her in. She plays Jenna, and she's the sister of the main character, and their relationship. The main character's name is Douglas. She calls him Dougie. Their relationship is super weird. But Catherine Winnick, if you know her at all, she went on to be in Vikings. She was the girlfriend of what was his name from Bones? The Angel, the actor who played Angel. Anyway, Celie. She played Celie's girlfriend in Bones. But she was in Vikings. She was one of the main characters from that show. And then she went on to be in Big Sky, which is another TV show I absolutely love. She played Jenny on Big Sky, but she was Lagertha in Vikings, and she was awesome in that too. So Catherine Winnick, I think, probably is the biggest actor from this. And you can argue with me, because Amanda Plummer is also in this, and some people would say she's even a much huger actress than Catherine. Amanda Plummer, of course, from Pulp Fiction and The Fisher King and Star Trek Picard and a host of other movies. Amanda Plummer has been in a lot of things. She was in Phineas and Ferb. She was Professor Poofenplatz from Phineas and Ferb, if you've watched that show. She was in Law and Order, SVU. She was in gosh, what else? Outer Limits. She's been in a lot of stuff. So some people would say she's the bigger actor over Catherine, but I would argue with that. She was also in Joe vs. Volcano. I mean, she was in a ton of things. Anyway, so Amanda Plummer's in this. There's a guy named Wes Stevens who you might recognize. He was in House of Cards. He was in The Wrestler, Brooklyn's Finest. Joshua Annex plays Satan Man. That's his character's actual name. He plays Satan Man in Satan's Little Helper. And the only two other things that he's credited for on IMDb are Gay Guy on Street in Sex and the City and James Assad in Law and Order SVU. So I don't even know what he looks like because I don't think his IMDb shows his face. So I have no idea what he looks like, but he is awesome as Satan Man in Satan's Little Helper. He does an amazing job without ever speaking. He doesn't speak in the entire movie. It's all body movements and just, acting straight up. The funniest thing of this whole movie is Lisa G plays Lisa G, a news reporter. And I think that's just, she's played a reporter in a couple of things. She was in Macbeth in Manhattan as a reporter. She was in Death of a Dynasty as a reporter. She was in The Cry as a reporter. So those are all, if you stick with what you know, right? So let's get back to the story. So this kid, Douglas, thinks he has, I guess, fallen into a live action version of his favorite game, which is Satan's Little Helper. So he follows this guy around while he kills people the whole movie. And he never believes it's real. He just assumes that this is not, it's part of the game, right? Finds out later, it's not. But if you haven't seen Satan's Little Helper, I just go find it. There's a 3-pack that comes out every now and then. The original printings of the movie, I think, are out of print. I have one just put away. A lot of times DVDs will get out of print and the price of them skyrockets, which is crazy. But I think they recently did put out this on Blu-ray, but also there is a 3-pack that you can buy that has it. I don't remember what the other two movies are, but I had the pleasure of showing this to a bunch of my friends for their first time. And by the end of the movie, everyone was quoting, what was going on. Anarchy became one of the catchphrases for the night. I told them, I think maybe halfway through the movie, that I actually have a mask from the movie of the main character, or the Satan Man. I have a mask. I can't remember who put it out, but I have it, and it just dawned on me while we were watching it that I had it in a box somewhere, and I came and found it after we got home from the weekend and tried to put it on, and it doesn't fit on my head. So it must be made for little kids, because I don't have, a large, like huge head, and it didn't fit. So it's like the Power Rangers helmets that are made for, these tiny little people. It just didn't fit me. So that kind of bummed me out, because I was planning on maybe dressing up like Satan Man for some event in the future. Who knows? But the mask didn't fit. So anyway, the point of this whole story is, it is absolutely the best thing to still be able to show a movie to people that they've never seen, and the anxiety and the fear that they're going to think it's the dumbest thing in the world always comes to the forefront. But luckily for me, my friends liked this movie, and I think it's because some movies are just meant to be shown in a group. I mean, there's a lot of movies like that. and this is definitely one of them. So if you've, never seen Satan's Little Helper, do yourself a favor and try to find it, and just get a bunch of your friends together and watch this super weird, you know, and if you really want to play movie critic, it is a very good, look at society and obsession with video games and how influential they can be to children, and or you can just look at it as this is a fun B horror movie that is fun to watch with your friends. You can take it either way, but I absolutely loved being able to show it to my friends, and I'm very happy that they enjoyed it as much as I did. Because that's the thing when you show a movie, it's like, man, this is just super weird, and you never, no one will ever let you pick the movie again. But that's not how it turned out for me. So that was a fun cap to the Halloween night, was watching that as a group. And what was even more fun is the next day, everyone quoting the movie and their favorite parts, and just having a good time with it. So find yourself a movie like that. Don't be afraid to share the things you like with your friends. I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast and this Preservation Society is I love Halloween and I want to share it with as many people as possible, and that's what I will continue doing. So I do have one request for everyone listening. I plan on doing a lot more podcasts and projects, and hopefully a lot more travel related to the Halloween Preservation Society this year or next year, well, both. And someone mentioned to me that I need to do more just campaigning, I guess, which is difficult for me because I don't like to ask for anything. But they told me, they're like, man, you have like 20 something thousand fans or followers on your social medias. Imagine if everyone gave you $1. Like, how much could you use that to do the projects that you want to do, and the traveling and the research and all the things that you'd love to do? So I'm asking you, the listeners, feel free to donate $1 to me to help fund my research and my time doing this podcast, because I'd love to do more. Absolutely. There's a lot of places I have on my list to go visit that I would love to do and bring you information about. So think about it. Just $1, if you want to do more, hey, that's cool. I think there's a link on the podcast itself that will take you to a donation page, but I'm going to come up with a easier solution for that. But thank you guys for listening. Check out Satan's Little Helper if you haven't seen it. I will watch it again easily. And I can't wait. I think I'm going to show my same friends or a group Rare Exports for Christmas time. If you haven't seen that, it's really good too. It's a foreign movie about Santa Claus. But it's another good movie. So until next time, stay strange, stay curious, stay spooky, and always preserve Halloween.